I don't get 30 subscribers on this video, I'm going to have to wear a Falcons jersey on a future video. Do not make me do that. Do not make me resent myself forever. Please help a brother out. Hit the sub button. It's 100% free. Not only are you going to save me from myself and from the scumbags here at Chat Sports that said I couldn't get 30 subs on a video, but you also get Saints news and rumors every single day. So, it's a little two-way deal. You help me, I help you. All right, let's talk about free agency and this free agent target, because recently Quandre Diggs of the Seattle Seahawks was released. And I want to discuss whether or not he would be a good fit to replace Marcus Maye. And if you missed it, last week, Marcus Maye was released by the New Orleans Saints. I put out a video with my reaction and breaking down the information from our Airbnb in Indianapolis, discussing it as soon as it happened. So if you missed that, go check out the video. It's on the channel. The link will be in the comments and description. But Pelissero, he tweeted this out yesterday, stating that the Seahawks are releasing 3-time Pro Bowl safeties Jamal Adams and Quandre Diggs per sources. This move saves them about $27.5 million in cash and significant cap space for Seattle, which will look a lot different in the Mike Macdonald era. So I want to acknowledge one thing. I want to address this right now. Don't even think. Do not even consider. For the love of God, do not be the New Orleans Saints this one time. This is such a Saints move to go sign Jamal Adams. Please don't. Just don't even think about it. I mean, the depth chart, sure, you got a couple guys that are free agents, but I don't really mind running it back with Jonathan Abram. I wouldn't hate bringing back Lonnie Johnson. Marcus Maye was on this depth chart. Jordan Howden gets a bump, and now he's a starter because that spot opened up. And at the end of the day, I do trust our starting safeties that we have. In his rookie campaign, Howden, the fresh out of Minnesota, the Golden Gopher, put up a PFF overall grade of 67.0 and a coverage grade of 65.2, whereas the Honey Badger, he don't care. He don't give a damn who you are. He's going to lock you up, and he's going to take your lunch money, and he's going to eat your dinner. 75 tackles, 9 pass breakups, one of his best careers in terms of interceptions, and then, of course, the PFF grades were stellar. But why would Jamal Adams, why is this kind of production, how could this possibly help? In my opinion, it can't. He allowed an 82.4 completion percentage. That's not good. Allowed 292 yards. Could be worse, could be a lot better. Allowed 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, only 2 pass breakups, and the quarterback rating was damn near perfect. I mean, it's really, really good. Jamal Adams is just somebody I'm not interested. Look at the tackling and the tackles for loss and the pass breakups and the interceptions. I mean, he hasn't logged a turnover since 2021. For the record, I was in college in 2021. So Jamal Adams hasn't got an interception since I was walking around Dixon Street in Fayetteville, Arkansas, drunk as a skunk. That's my point here. I don't want Jamal Adams, but Quandre Diggs is somebody that I could be convinced about. So would you sign Quandre Diggs? Just type a simple Diggs for yes or nah for no. I'm not really interested about it. I think that it could make some sense for New Orleans, but at the end of the day, my take, I would rather sign a really solid free agent, a Cam Curl, a Arkansas legend for the record. Cam Curl, Jonathan Abram, Jordan Poyer just got released. There's some really interesting guys, not just in free agency, but in the draft too. I would not mind running it back with Jonathan Abram. And the limited sample size we got, he played really well alongside Tyrann Mathieu. He was a good running mate for number 32. I don't think it would be a bad idea to bring in Jordan Poyer, who, breaking news within the last hour, he's getting released by the Buffalo Bills. I think that this could actually be an intriguing option, and I wouldn't hate bringing either of those two guys in. I will say this about Poyer. I don't necessarily know if the Saints would go and try and get him. I could see them going the route of drafting a safety over bringing one in free agency. They met with a few safeties at the Combine. There's some really talented players in this class. And on top of that, credit to Dennis Allen. He knows how to develop the hell out of a defensive back. So I wouldn't hate it. But, guys, this is why you subscribe, so that way you can stay informed about the New Orleans Saints in all things, in all forms and fashion. All right, let's switch gears. Let's talk about some NFC South buzz and some things that could impact the New Orleans Saints. It's not official yet. Nothing's happened yet, but the chatter's really getting heavy. And when there's smoke, typically there's fire. Mike Florio reporting that Kirk Cousins could be headed to the Atlanta Falcons. Here is what he said. We can't get into the specifics for now, but we're getting very credible indications that Cousins is seriously considering moving his family to Atlanta, which would mean, obviously, that he'd be signing with the Falcons. Now, I do want to point out one thing that I think is kind of an interesting thing to consider. Kirk Cousins' wife is from Atlanta. And producer Seeps, if I have this wrong, correct me, but last offseason, he stayed in Atlanta rather than sticking around in Minnesota, correct? Yeah, so I just think that that's something that's worth noting. Kirk Cousins, he's a good quarterback. He got hurt last year. Going to be honest, he was a really big reason why the Vikings were as good as they were 2 seasons ago and made the playoffs. I mean, this is a talented football player. He's not the best quarterback in the whole wide world. I'm not going to sit here and blow smoke up Kirk's butt because I think he's the greatest thing ever. No, that's not the case. But he's a respectable starter in this league, and he is a good quarterback who understands the NFL and has played at a very high level before. Now, in terms of another option, Justin Fields is a player that also has a lot of buzz around him going to Atlanta. The dual threat quarterback, I'm going to be honest, might scare me a little bit more than Kirk Cousins. I think that he can be a very good passer if you put him in a better situation than you had in Chicago, where your best receivers were DJ Moore, Darnell Mooney. I'm not going to say it's an upgrade going from Chicago to Atlanta, but at least in Atlanta you have a better offensive line, I think, kind of, maybe. But at least it's in a worse division, so, like, it could be better. Like, you kind of see what I'm saying. Like, I think Justin Fields, there's a lot of questions and marks about whether or not he can develop and become a true high-caliber starting quarterback. But the intangibles are there. The qualities are there. The leadership is there. And so for those reasons, those are some things that kind of make me nervous. And if a team can buy into the quarterback, only God knows how far a team can go. So who scares you most? I want you guys to get loud in the comment section for me. Is it Kirk Cousins or Justin Fields? Like, if the Falcons brought in one of these players via trade for Fields or free agency for Kirk Cousins, which one would scare you the most? I want you guys to let me know in the comment section and share your thoughts. Just type KC or JF. And if you haven't already, you made it to the end of the video. We're clearly doing something right. Just hit that thumbs up icon, like this video, because then you'll also get more Saints videos on your YouTube feed. As always, Saints fans, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Y'all stay golden. We'll see you next time.